people are hungry for experiences, and they're hungry for human interaction.
Some shopping malls believe they have found a way to get foot traffic back up, while retailers are closing at an alarming rate.
We saw some light rain move through the area this afternoon. We're tracking rain and snow for the weekend. Full forecast details next.
And several businesses burned down last year in downtown SANDPOINT. Tonight, we talked to those that had to relocate after that fire.
This man is accused of killing his ex-wife on the South Hill by strangling her and then setting her car on fire back in January. Now, Spokane police are looking at his best friend as a potential co-conspirator. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Police have now filed a search warrant for both of their phones. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley explains what led to this new development.
Yeah, Mark and Whitney, Yasser Daraji is in Spokane County Jail for first-degree murder. New court documents indicate his best friend may have been a co-conspirator, and that's because he was seen on security video purchasing cleaning supplies nearby.
The investigation into the death of Yasser Daraji's ex-wife has led police to security video at Rosar's supermarket on 29th Avenue. According to court documents, Daraji's best friend lives 2 blocks from where his ex-wife was found. Court docs say Daraji's friend is seen at Rosar's about an hour before the vehicle fire. In the security video, investigators say the friend is seen buying an air freshener and returning to his car where he made a phone call. He then goes back into the store and buys cleaning supplies, then drove away. Later on, the friend allowed detectives to search his home, car, and cell phone. That's when they seized his phone ahead of a warrant. Court documents say this friend was also involved in a previous incident involving Daraji and his ex-wife. She confronted the friend in early January, claiming he was spreading rumors about her. Investigators say the friend secretly recorded their conversation on his cell phone. Police have now filed search warrants for Daraji and his friend's cell phones.
Now, records also indicate Daraji and his ex-wife have a history of domestic violence. And to be clear, Daraji is the only suspect charged for the murder. His bond is set at $1 million. At this time, police are only investigating his friend. He is not facing any criminal charges. In the newsroom, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
We are tracking some breaking news right now. Spokane Valley deputies are looking for this woman. 75-year-old Joanne McCready left the Park Place retirement community on Tuesday and hasn't been seen since. So if you have any information on her whereabouts, you are urged to call Crime Check. That number is right there on your screen.
Well, there are some new numbers which show an increase in white supremacist propaganda here in Washington. According to the Anti-Defamation League, the spread of white power propaganda more than doubled in 2019, making it the highest year on record. Those familiar with hate groups in Washington say the increase is concerning, although not surprising.
People are allowed to think what they want to think, but when they start putting their actions towards violence, that's when law enforcement becomes involved.
The ADL says it's not just the Northwest that has an issue. White supremacist activity has also doubled nationally.
A bill making its way through the state house could soon make it illegal for Idaho employers to hire someone based on race or gender.
The House State Affairs Committee heard the so-called anti-preference bill last night. It passed after 12 Republicans voted in favor of the bill. 3 Democrats said no. Republican Representative Heather Scott from Bonner County sponsored the bill. She says people should be hired based on their job qualifications, but critics say this bill gets rid of affirmative action.
So I believe, as I think most of us do, that it's deeply offensive to hire or to not hire someone based on their race.
Do we still need a place for affirmative action? Yes, we do. We need it in our communities. We need it in our culture. We do need to recognize that not everybody is created equal.
Now, one Democrat claims the bill allows for discrimination against select groups. That bill will now go to the House floor. All right, another gorgeous afternoon out there in Spokane, but we know that we're tracking some wet weather headed in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, just in time for Valentine's Day. Tom Sherry standing by with what we can expect, Tom.
Yeah, I think most of Friday, Valentine's Day, will be dry, but as we get into late Friday night and especially into the weekend, Saturday morning and Sunday morning, we could see snow falling across the area. Although our viewers over in northern Idaho and north central Idaho, you will see more rain and snow on Valentine's Day. We're just going to see a little bit of precipitation here locally overnight. There you can see right now on the satellite and radar picture the rain. We had just a small band of rain move through the Spokane area between 4 and 5 o'clock. That has now moved to the east and to the southeast of us. So your day planner forecast calling for just a chance of a few showers overnight with a low of 31. Should be mostly dry in Spokane, and to the west of us and to the south, we'll look for a daytime high of 43. But again, over in Idaho, especially north central Idaho, look for more snow and rain showers. I always look ahead to the weekend, and this is when it gets sloppy. Morning snow, afternoon rain, lows below freezing, daytime highs 10 degrees above freezing. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. This week marks 1 year since a fire gutted several businesses in downtown SANDPOINT. 2 historic buildings were destroyed in that fire and have been torn down since.
1 year later, though, at least half of those businesses that were impacted by the fire had to relocate. And as KREM 2's Taylor Vito also found out, one of the original businesses could soon return to that former site.
Well, 1 year later, some of the businesses that used to be located here have since relocated and have moved on. It hasn't been easy, but they say they're all now looking forward to the future. At SANDPOINT Tattoo, you could say everything is coming up roses in more ways than one.
I'm doing a skull and roses design on a guy tomorrow.
Owner Michelle Egan has done a lot of flower tattoos over the years.
They always like roses.
A good problem to have, and one that hasn't gone away despite what happened 1 year ago.
It only seems like it was just kind of yesterday. It's still pretty fresh in the memory. Hasn't gone away yet.
Egan's tattoo shop and a handful of other businesses were destroyed in a fire that hit 2 buildings on the corner of 1st and Bridge Street. The fire was an accident, but it caused millions in damage and forced Egan and her neighbors to relocate.
My business has been great. Everybody's been supporting me and coming back, so that's the main thing.
Egan fortunately found a space just a couple of buildings down the street. She's not the only one who is doing okay.
It's great looking back knowing that year is past, and I was really happy yesterday when it was a full year gone.
Kim Bond owned Headlines Salon. Following the fire, she cut hair in a temporary spot for several months before moving into this space, which is also downtown, in September. Fortunately, many of her old clients followed her here.
I was so homesick, I couldn't believe it to be downtown. So I love having my little spot here, and I've got my big windows.
But not everyone has been able to stay in SANDPOINT. The SANDPOINT Chocolate Bear was another business that was destroyed, but their owners have since opted to relocate to Spokane Valley. This is video after they opened there last fall.
All the homemade goodies that we made up in SANDPOINT, we make them here now.
But the good news, at least one of the original businesses may return to the original spot. SANDPOINT's mayor tells KREM that the new owner of this property plans to rebuild retail space here and wants to bring back the Hound. It was a popular pizza joint that was lost in the fire.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Hound was awesome. That was a great business.
Both Bond and Egan say they're all for that. Moving forward, they're confident this busy corner in downtown SANDPOINT will turn out just fine.
Oh yes, we would get pizza there all the time. We love the Hound. That was good food.
In SANDPOINT, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Photographer Seth Lewis got a look at what happens to malls after they fail. Left abandoned and neglected, the giant buildings slowly fall apart.
It's a tough reality, no doubt, but not all malls are struggling. In fact, the ones that are thriving are shifting their focus. They're becoming experiential centers, like this one in New Jersey. KREM 2's Tim Pham is on special assignment tonight to find out what it takes for malls to survive.
You're going to be in your own 3D world.
Step into an alternate reality.
Yep, just like that. When you put the headset on,
whoa,
you are walking through that doorway, closing the door and leaving this 3D world behind.
How does basking in the Arizona sunshine from Spokane in the middle of winter sound?
And then hit that word start and pull the trigger.
Olivia Garrison is walking me through a demo at Virtual Gamers in Northtown Mall. It's not something you'd expect to find in your traditional shopping center. Retailers are closing stores at a staggering rate, Credit Suisse says about 8,700 stores and malls closed nationwide last year. At Northtown Mall, these 4 stores closed, including Sears. Washington State University's Carson College of Business just published its 2019 Holiday Retail Survey. It looked at shopping trends in the Pacific Northwest. They found that 43% of consumers prefer to do their shopping in store. They like the ability to touch and see products in person, but the number one reason was great customer service.
It's a great opportunity for businesses to really engage customers and really help create an experience that's unique to shopping in stores that you can't find online.
It's why over the last decade, Grove Ayers says malls shifted their approach to reverse this trend.
What does Northtown Mall offer? It's not just a retail space anymore.
Not any longer, no. Just kind of changes in the retail environment and in the industry are that we've added more experiential things.
You can get up close and personal with stingrays at the aquarium, get lost inside a novel at the Spokane Public Library, and jump to the sky at Get Air Trampoline Park. The days of shopping-only malls are over. So how did this happen? The big one, of course, is pressure from online sales. But Ayers says the way we interact with one another has changed too.
And now a lot of that communication takes place on a handheld device or online in some way.
Of Northtown Mall's 97 businesses, only about half are retail-only shops. The other half include fine dining, entertainment, and other experiences. Foot traffic was up last year compared to 2018. About 5 million people visited Northtown, which could be a sign that experiential-type businesses are working.
Why did you choose to open up in Northtown Mall?
The mall is going to be the future of family-oriented type of gaming and experiences.
But you can't beat the convenience of shopping online and having it delivered right to your doorstep. Plus, there's comparing prices, browsing options, and not having to wait in long lines. Getting people out of cyberspace and into the retail space is a challenge. Northtown has more than 955,000 square feet of that space. You can see Sears was a big part of the property.
In a lot of cases, making it smaller, making it physically smaller, getting rid of some of the shop space and turning that into community space.
This means being hubs for civic engagement, service, and being a place that shows care for the community they're in.
It might not seem like that's something that pays off in terms of attracting new customers, but we're finding that that's something that customers really do value.
So what will it take for malls to survive? Well, retail experts say there has to be a shift in mindset, not only from the customers they hope to attract, but the industry needs to stay relevant in their communities.
They are going to have to be driven to become more of a family-orientated business.
She's not wrong. Look at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. Some call it the future of malls, a mecca of family-centered activities. There's 5 roller coasters, the world's biggest indoor wave pool, and a year-round ski slope.
So take a look down at your hands.
So no, malls are not dying, at least not the ones adapting.
All right, where do I go next?
The next time you step into a mall, take a look around. It's not an alternate reality. It could be the future.
So industry experts I spoke to say there will be malls that can operate the way they always have with just retail only, but there are not many cities that actually have the demographics to support those kind of malls. So the big takeaways are malls and really all retailers will have to evolve if they want to stay relevant. So, I think it's hard to compete against online. You think of the convenience of, Amazon click 2-day shipping and it's at your front doorstep, but at the same time to be able to touch and feel products, it's something you can't do online.
Yeah. I was listening, and interesting when I was listening to your package because my kids are 7 and 8, and we've gone to the Northtown Mall not to shop, but to go to the movie theater, to go to that trampoline park, and there's actually like a little jumping kind of trampoline thing in the middle of the mall too. That we've gone there for, but interesting not to shop.
And it's so interesting that the days of Macy's, these big powerhouses, Sears, they're just not going to be there for very much longer. So they had to come up with an alternative. You give them lots of props for kind of thinking outside the box.
You have to think ahead, that's for sure.
Okay,
Tim,
good
great
story.
story.
Thank you.
Thanks.